Hello, crafty friends, and welcome back. Today I'm working on a heritage layout. Here is a picture of my grandma, and I am using a mixture of everything. So I have some 49 and Market, One Perfect Day, and I have some stash. So this paper is, I think, really super old pink paisley paper, and it's textured. Um, The background paper is from a fairly newer collection, I think within the last year, from Photoplay, and it is called Everyday Junk. And then the frame that I am working with right now, that is from 49 and Market, their Essentials collection. I also pulled out some film strips, some vellum you can see there, and old flowers from Prima, just everything. I pulled out all kinds of stuff, just trying to decide what I wanted to do. So this vellum paper that I decided I wanted some kind of frame, but I didn't want to lose a lot of the background paper. So this frame actually kind of gave a good base area, but still gave some differential to not have this picture just floating in the middle of my page, but gave a good foundation for everything to start building on. So here you can see that I'm trying to figure out if I want one or two or a solid film strip or how I'm going to work this out. Um, so now that I have that kind of figured out, I'm starting to lay out some of the embellishments that I have picked out. And so I think at this point I've decided it's probably going to be a brown or um, maybe this orangey colored film strip. And then I had these Tim Holtz uh, chipboard plaque pieces that just have some different phrases on them. And this one said something about, I don't even know if I can get my screen big enough to see it, but something about our hearts. And I just thought it was a pretty saying to have on a layout for my grandma. And so now I've pulled out these other laser cut flowers from an older 49 and Market collection. And at first, I think I'm going to go with more of this peachy pink color because I pulled in that paper from that is behind my photo. So I get all this laid out thinking, okay, yeah, that's all right. And so here I think I went to bed. Well, no, I didn't go to bed. Maybe I ate supper. I was at a retreat. And so here I decide to rub tea dye over the top of that texture embossed paper in the back to kind of dull down the pinkness of it. Because of those roses on the left hand side of the paper, that they were more of an orange peachy color rather than the pinky coral color. And so I was trying to blend some of the two, but I did ultimately decide to go more with the peach colored items rather than the coral pink colors. And so I wanted those film strips to go behind this image in that's printed on the paper. So here I am fussy cutting where I want that to fall behind. So there you can see that it is open. So here my one film strip is going to go, and then there is my vellum. And then there is my photo. So there's the base of my layout. And then once I get everything glued down here, this is where I start to decide on my embellishments, which I had kind of gone through previously and decided what I wanted on there. And as you can see, that I didn't show earlier of pulling out these embellishments that I ultimately decided on, that when I cut away previously, it was all the coral pinky colors. And then I pulled out that the laser cuts from One Fine Day collection, which has a bunch of florals. It's a wedding collection by 49 and Market, and I decided that that would had a very similar look on the roses as the one on the paper. So if I would just use this ink to distress the edges, then it was going to give a very similar vintage look to it. So I'm just getting ink on everything, and I think I'm probably using frayed burlap for that. Also doing it on this doily here. Normally I struggle using doilies, but this is probably, now that I'm starting to try and get some of these heritage photos documented, that just, I don't know, I feel like doilies might get a lot of use in my layouts here. That the vintage look of them, I think, just goes with it. So you might see more doilies out of me here coming up, so who knows? Okay, so I did put some craft foam behind my photo and used some extra liquid glue because it is going on top of that textured paper. So I want to make sure that that is going to stick good. And I also don't put adhesive all over the vellum, that I just put it behind where I know my photo is going to cover it up. And same thing with the acetate film strips. The liquid glue looks fine, that you actually cannot see it hardly at all when you use it. And then I just double checked and made sure that when I put down that second film strip, I put it in a place that would be covered up underneath the photo. And so here I'm adding these lace pieces, and again, these were in my previous, or another layout that I had also used two of these lace laser cuts, and they're actually about 12 inches long, but for storage purposes I had cut them in half. And really, I knew I probably wouldn't use them going the full length of the page, and even if I did, I could just stick them back together and you wouldn't know that they were two separate pieces. And just kind of playing around with placement here of my florals. I did pull in one of those reels as well. I'm not sure if this is one that I actually got in a laser cut, or a while back I did buy a cut file from, or a digital file from Katie Petit's digital shop, and it did include some of these film reels. So I can actually cut them in various colors and various sizes. And so that might be one of those as well. That as I was testing it, I printed several in different sizes and colors. Mostly just white and creams and neutral colors, knowing that that's typically the colors. And if I wanted a specific color, then I could go in and do a size in a paper colored if I wanted to, or I could use inks and just color up the wheel if I had a white one too as well. So I had used some of my scrap paper from 49 and Market as well, and created a lot of these pre-die cut pieces to use as layering bits and pieces. And so that's what that orangey rusty color is there. I don't know what that was. That again, I'm at a retreat, so I was clapping about something. Somebody probably finished a layout, and I was like, "Hey, way to go!" Normally, also on these flowers, that I typically would use my hot glue gun, but I did not take that with me, so I am just using my tear tape, and that works just fine too. Just for some reason, it just seems it seems easier to use my hot glue gun when I'm at home. So. Let's see, just getting the rest of my floral bits down here, and pretty much the last bit, because I think I've done that upper cluster already. Adding a few more bits of adhesive, and then now I'm going to work on getting my title on here, which is just my grandmother's first name, Evelyn. And these are super, super, super old chipboard letters. I believe they were from making memories. And so they really didn't stick at all. So I did need to make sure that I added liquid. Oh, here, I'm actually showing you 2008, I believe is what that said. And so they've been in my stash for a while, and finally got a little more use out of them. I think there was some letters that were gone out of it. So here are the close-up shots. You can see that quote there that I was talking about earlier. And if you have any questions for me, please feel free to leave those down below. Thanks for stopping by. I will have these close-up photos on my Pinterest as well as Instagram accounts. And we'll see you next time. Bye.